The start curves determine where the strokes will be on frame 1 of the simulation. By default, though, if you just press play, what will happen is the hairs will fall away from that start position and land wherever they do according to gravity and collisions. And you can see that here. The start curves are in blue and the actual hair strokes are in brown. Well, what we can do to make the strokes better conform to the start curves is simply enable an attribute called Start Curve Attract. We'll select the strokes and go to the attribute editor, Control A. And go to the hair system shape node. And just so we can see this a little bit better, I'll copy the tab off and then close the attribute editor and deselect the hair. And that just makes it so that we can see the hair a little bit better. Rewind and go into the dynamic properties section and scroll down a little bit, and you're looking for Start Curve Attract. And all you need to do is enable that attribute. If you turn it up all the way, then the start curves will have full influence over the hairs. Play that back, see what we get. Very cool. So now the hair strokes are conforming to the shape of the start curves, but they're also responding to gravity and collisions. So this is a really useful feature. Additionally, you will see that there are a couple other related attributes. There's attraction damp, which you can enable if the hairs start oscillating. Sometimes you might see that the attraction causes the hairs to sort of wiggle and get a bit overactive. You can enable attraction damp if that's a problem. Additionally, there's a ramp or graph down here that is the attraction scale. And as always, the left side of the graph is the root of the hair and the right side is the tip. And so this is just saying that we have a lot of attraction at the root and not very much attraction at the tip. If we turn these up all the way, then what we would expect to see is that the hair would better conform to the start curves, and so it's not bending quite as much. I'll turn that back down. And that's all there is to it in order to get your hairstyle to conform to those start curves. There is something called a rest curve, but rest curves are kind of sort of deprecated. They don't really do anything anymore in nHair. They really only apply to classic hair systems. So the way that you can get your hair to conform to curves is to use start curves and start curve attract. And I can go ahead and hide those curves so that we can just admire the hair by itself. Selecting the hair, going into nHair, display current position, and then hide the output curves layer here, because remember, we can't actually hide all curves. We have to show the output curves and then hide the output curves layer. All right, cool. So that's our hair system. Looking pretty good.